as it's commonly known, has crumbled. Alliances that held since the end of World War II, gone.
Yeah, this campaign sucks. A few days ago, at the time of writing this, I made a short about IGN's review of the Battlefield 6 campaign. In that short, I implied that it probably wasn't as bad as a 5. I mean, come on. Forspoken and Concord both got 6s, so unless it's a buggy mess and is so linear and cliche that you can literally predict what is going to happen in advance, it probably doesn't deserve a 5.
Foreshadowing is a narrative.
I'm not expecting this to be like the best experience ever, but I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. After an intro that looks like a Hyperjumper Trump edit, we start the story in the mountains of Georgia, specifically on a military base.
Holy.
Around 10 minutes before a handover to a rival faction called Pax Armata takes place. Basically, Pax is one big PMC that's been taking over NATO's job for the last couple years. It's generally anti-American and anti-NATO, but a lot of ex-NATO states like France, Spain, and Georgia, and other NATO-adjacent countries have become increasingly more interested in joining Pax instead. Back to Georgia, we play as Sergeant Dylan Murphy. We're part of a squad with these three incredibly generic United States Marines. Don't get attached to them though. Not only are they every single US Marine ever, but they also die like 10 minutes in. Anyway, after walking outside and talking about how much they want to die in a war with Pax Armata,
NATO's not up to a fight with the worst PMC in Europe. We are. Tag us in.
they get their wish and a jet suddenly bombs the military base.
The soldiers are talking about wanting to fight Pax. Well, you got what you wanted, I guess.
Immediately, there's absolute carnage and chaos. Enemy troops start breaching the base, and we get a gun and start shooting. Then there's a tutorial pop up, and it tells us how to sprint in a video game.
Whoa, it tells me how to sprint in a video game? Nice.
Don't stop running, little Reddit.
Thank you, Dice. I've never played a video game before. I really need to be told how to press W on the fucking keyboard. After that very necessary tutorial, we try to get into a hangar to regroup before it gets blown up in our face, and we settle for a car instead. Our mission stays the same, however. We have to protect some servers that hold some information that is very important.
We're protecting Palantir servers.
By protecting, we mean blowing up, and afterwards, there's an on-rails, linear shooting sequence. Anyway, we airstrike the bad guys trying to take information from the servers. Then we go in there, blow them up ourselves, and then extract out of there on a helicopter. Our brave and fallible heroes briefly talk on the helicopter about this being, quote,
Oh, this is some Article 5 shit.
What do you mean this is some Article 5 shit?
but like every single helicopter in a video game ever, the inevitable happens.
Every time. Helicopter in a video game.
I predicted this, by the way. Honestly, predicting things because they're so common in other media and this shit campaign becomes somewhat of a running gag throughout this video.
Can there be a quick time event? Can I like tell them what to do? I want there to be a quick time event.
After crashing, all of our heroes are alive, but now they're being swarmed by Pax Armata troops, and all four of them put up a valiant effort trying to defeat the enemies. This is also how the Battlefield 6 campaign shows me the never seen before lean mechanic.
This is how I learn about the lean mechanic.
Yippee! Thank you, Dice, for showing me how a mechanic that has been present in every single video game ever since at least 2012 works.
Dude, they're all dying.
Also, Murphy says to the three dead corpses around him, "No, you're still okay," just turning into cope.
No, you're okay.
No, they're not.
Anyway, after they die, we miraculously get saved by an evac force sent by NATO, and then it cuts to black. It then cuts to a house in Virginia. This house belongs to Mills, and you can tell she's evil because she literally has the name Evildoer on the fandom villain wiki. A TV plays in the background, dumping a bunch of exposition about how the war started. It's clearly shoehorned in just for us, the players. I don't know why someone in the CIA would watch CNN or Fox News when they probably already know all that information anyway, and know Tucker Carlson on a first-name basis.
The green M&M, you will notice, is no longer wearing sexy boots.
Anyway, our brave heroes, well, one of them, and some new people who mostly stick around, enter Mills' house ready or not style. They talk to her about their upcoming missions, which apparently are never supposed to take place in person.
You're breaking protocol. You're never to contact me in person. I taught you both too
They're
well.
coming for you.
Who?
Pax.
What's your source?
Source?
Chapter 2, Gibraltar. We drop in with the British fighting against the Spanish that are trying to take the British overseas territory of Gibraltar.
Okay, I just want to play the game. Can I play the game now? Can I play the game?
We do some very boring and vacuous missions as Gecko.
Oh, right, okay. The only reason why we're going here is because the developers didn't want to animate us getting on top.
Then we get introduced to the sniper, which has a really nice sound and weight to it. We blow up some people with the obligatory red barrel, blow up the radar station, and then escape through the tunnels.
I hate the dark environments.
Break my legs, then see a very funny man in serious physical pain.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, back to the story. There's also an amphibious landing section of this mission. You storm the beaches, and your objective is to capture Kincaid, the leader of Pax Armata. This teaches you how to use the AAV, which for a nice change is not something in the multiplayer. You assault the beach, obviously if it's an amphibious landing, and head towards the city hall where Kincaid, the big bad Scottish man that leads Pax, is rumoured to be located. I like the idea that the man who leads Pax, a multinational coalition fighting the most powerful military known to man, is in an active war zone commanding his troops like it's the Middle Ages or something. Like he's Count Dooku overseeing how the droid armies are going to kill the Jedi.
Will make a fine addition to my collection.
Anyway, after fighting our way through the hustle and bustle of Gibraltar,
Wow.
we finally find the big bad. He kills someone who's helpless, just like every single villain ever.
So sad.
Daring today, aren't we? Honestly, this is a real problem with the Battlefield 6 campaign too. It is so damn predictable. It's like every military story blended up and ran through ChatGPT. I'll talk about this later, especially less generally too. But this game is about as cliche as ending your creative writing task in primary school with "it was all in the head."
Oh, right.
Anyway, we fight through the city hall and surprise, surprise, he escaped.
Fucker's gone.
Virginia too. Honestly, it's a bunch of yapping, but it's basically our brave, error-free heroes interrogating the CIA woman, Miller, about how Pax were able to pull off their operations so effectively. Apparently, they, and I mean the evil Scottish man, and his faction, bypassed early warning systems and other forms of detection so easily and effortlessly that it was starting to get a bit suspicious. I mean, the American squad member calls what happened at Gibraltar worse than Pearl Harbor, so it's probably pretty bad.
Dude, I don't give a shit. I can't be bothered.
Chapter 2, Egypt 1.
Egypt.
The first Egypt mission is incredibly boring, but it's meant to be a rip-off of Clean House from Modern Warfare 2019. You know, the mission where you're in London and you're like trying to kill the terrorists, but there's women and children in the way. You know what I mean. What made Clean House so good was the realism, pacing, and tension. It's incredibly slow and forces you to play stealthy, mostly because of the civilians that are in the building, which you can't shoot, obviously. Along with the Al-Qatala terrorists, the movement is slow. You're punished for making mistakes, and your gun is raised constantly, preparing for the next encounter whilst cleaning out the house. It's incredibly realistic, almost to a disturbing degree. The sound design is masterful, and the graphics, despite the game being released in 2019, nearly 7 years ago at this point, still look amazing today. In comparison with Night Raid from Battlefield 6, it tries to make you feel like you're special forces, but not really. It never really commits. The movement is bouncy, you're never really genuinely in trouble, and if you're like on low health or something, you can just dive behind the abundance of cover and wait for your health to increase. There are hordes of enemy troops outside the building, but you never really feel vulnerable, so stealth kind of loses its meaning both inside and outside the Egyptian compound. In the streets and sewers before reaching the compound, the stealth is just as mediocre. I think the most you do to avoid getting spotted is crouching. That's literally it. Anyway, back to the compound.
He's a tech bro? Oh, it's Elon Musk. It's Egyptian Elon Musk. He dead.
Our brave team of heroes take the tech bro's thumb,
Oh, we're gonna have to fucking cut off his thumb? Oh, nice.
literally like by cutting it off, because he has access to the technology and intel. Then we take the intel, then escape to the car. That's the first plan at least. Seconds before we can extract, the car gets blown up by a helicopter, and we have to continue playing this incredibly tedious mission. We then escape through the souk and survive an ambush before asking for another extraction from Al-Khatib. Then our brave, faultless heroes find themselves in a courtyard waiting for extraction before this happens.
One of them's gonna die tragically. Oh, brother.
Seriously, you have to believe me, I hadn't played this all beforehand. This was all fresh. Anyway, we eventually extract. Blah blah blah, who cares? Virginia 3. The dots connected in the last cutscene really apply here, but are said more explicitly this time. Lopez's voice lines are especially bad. That's about it, honestly. Moving on.
The thumb is what I needed to confirm. The RFID sheet
Gave us intel on Kincaid's cell in Brooklyn, but not how they freaking got there.
Not how they freaking got there.
The next mission is in the godforsaken lands of New Jersey and New York. Upon landing in New York, we're told that there is a NATO summit going on and that we need to protect it from whatever Pax is planning by finding their base in New York City. We know that they've got one somewhere in Brooklyn and are planning an attack, but we're not really quite sure where and how. This is all told by the briefing man that briefs you on the mission. As you can tell by my player movements and what I'm saying at the time, I'm incredibly invested in this story.
Alright, he's walking in already.
We gotta get this started.
We then head out to complete the mission. There's a video on Twitter of someone playing the campaign completely normally in this section, and it's him slightly getting ahead of the squad or moving into the wrong room as the rest of the squad, and it perfectly sums up how boxed in this entire game is. If you go down the wrong path or go into the wrong room before the NPCs are ready, you just will get airstriked immediately. Look at these awesome animations that are broken.
What the fuck? Ooh.
And then we find Jay Schlett's apartment.
Dude, this is a Jay Schlatt man. They have like stop signs. Maybe this is Jay Schlatt's house. He does live in New York after all.
You stole a fucking parking sign from Chase Bank? No.
After some suspiciously weird animations, we find their secret hideout with a convenient M4 iPad Pro with a rugged case in the hideout. It's streaming in 4K max quality. No surprises here, it's the Scottish evil guy. He looks like the locked-in alien. And then says some questionable things about New York.
Pax doesn't stand for shit except money and power.
Jesus has. You never change. You can stand in the Empire State and talk like that with a straight face.
And then hangs up. Whilst talking about this, our meticulous heroes find the plans that the evil Scottish man wants to shell New York by using a ship called the USS Artemis, the one that they flew over at the beginning of the mission. Apparently, the way they're going to do this is by using spies on board or something. It's very contrived. Pax reinforcements start flooding in as soon as we learn this, however, and because they overwhelm us, the squad heads below street level. After opening the door, there's an entire fucking army down there with an armored train full of Pax soldiers already firing their guns at you. Well, the
We are being reinforced with an armored train.
train guys are. The guys directly in front of you just get gunned down mercilessly.
I hate all this railroading. No pun intended.
This is mostly because of the really janky cutscene to gameplay transitions. I mean, granted, it's better than a direct cut, but it's always off somehow. We then get into a car and pursue the train under the city for half a minute before getting rammed by another Pax vehicle. The train is no longer pursuable, unfortunately. After fighting some more infantry, we're told that the reason Pax could get below New York City in like the tunnels was because they could ship in things using a trusted company, because that makes sense in a world post 9/11. Also, that this company was owned by the tech bro that had access to the US technology in Egypt. This is never further explored in the campaign. Anyway, our impeccable heroes then extract to a helicopter, fly to a bridge that is heading out of New York City, and then give the order to airstrike it on the bridge. I don't know why they wouldn't wait until the train is outside New York City. Why would they airstrike the bridge? That makes no sense. Anyway, it blows up, obviously, as well as most of the bridge with it. However, instead of getting someone more qualified, we're told to infiltrate the bridge and then turn off the consoles inside the train.
I mean, catch and stop the train. We did stop it. It's been stopped by being plummeted into the Atlantic Ocean.
That will rain down missiles on New York City if not turned off. In one of the train cars, there's the aforementioned console that communicates with the missiles that you've got to disable. You then disable the missiles, well, try to, unplug it, which also fails, and then get interrupted by a lone Pax soldier. But alas, it is too late.
Why does it sound like laggy?
Outside, you watch in mild surprise as multiple missiles launch into the city. Also, the audio was lagging for some reason, and I really don't know why. That's another problem with this campaign. When bugs happen, it's usually the what the fuck is going on here sort of variety. Sometimes hits don't register, or it gets turned into a source game, or you start bugging out movement-wise. There's a batch of fresh bugs every time.
Sounds like we're securing the roof. We wasted the Pax forces.
I can at least commend DICE for the variety. Anyway, immediately after finishing up the first New York campaign mission, we're told that we gotta go help President Fernandez, because he's trapped in New York for some reason.
President Fernandez has been moved to a safe house across town.
We fight our way through the city, find this bug. What is even going on here?
What is going on? What is going on? What the hell is going on? Now I have to do that all over again. So annoying. Actually tiresome.
And then finally, get to the president. He looks like Marco Rubio.
On foreign policy, America continues to be indispensable to the goal of global liberty.
And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television. It's Rubio.
Rossetti, head of my protective detail. I suppose you know who I am.
Is it Marco Rubio? It's Ted Cruz.
Some drones are up on the roof trying to blow up Fernandez, so we deal with them and then kill the operators that are hiding out in a New York park.
I can tell that this isn't New York because there aren't a bunch of sleeping homeless people and rats and disease.
We then get into a car and protect the president. There's a really lame chase sequence. You can't even take out the enemy car tires, like with 4 vehicles.
Wow, I can't even take out the tires.
We then drive under a building which takes out the turret, and then we're given the opportunity to be told by the game about how to shoot out of a car. Riveting. After continuing to protect the president, a building falls on top of us, but we're still all alive, somehow. We then wake up totally unharmed inside of a subway tunnel.
You know, I can't help noticing
Lopez.
that we are in a freaking subway again.
We're in a freaking subway. Most of the homeless people pushing them.
We find out that the evil Scottish guy, somehow, is in the same tunnel that we miraculously fell into, and that he sounds pretty desperate. We then make our way outside and fight through some regular infantry to meet up with Carter PCs and make sure that the president extracts safely on a boat.
Is the roof gonna blow up?
The boat that gets blown up by an RPG seconds before he's supposed to get on it.
Dude, how does this keep happening?
If you wanted to kill the president, why would you fire at the boat that he's not even on? After shooting some more Pax guys, we find out that Kincaid has made his way outside of the tunnel and that he has come to try and kill the president one last time. We then tell the president to go somewhere, we don't really see him again, and we go with Carter to kill Kincaid. Kincaid says the usual evil stuff, unironically goes full hunt down the Freeman mode with his voice lines.
Those fuckers laughed when they threw acid over me. You know what it's like to smell your own face being eaten away? You fucked up my face.
And then kills Carter before escaping.
McLean, Virginia.
Nothing really happens. They mention White Monster.
Monster?
And the squad is then told that there are Pax teams trying to infiltrate Mills's home. Our brave heroes debate on whether it's an extraction team or a kill squad before preparing to kill them all. Then, it once again cuts to black. Egypt 2.
Back to Egypt again.
The story does not matter in this mission at all. Now, before I move on to talk about the second Egypt mission, it's important to note that this campaign was incredibly rushed. When the trailer came out for Battlefield 6's campaign, there were lots of shots from cutscenes that did not make it into the final release. And as any actuator 7593 on Reddit so eloquently puts it, the campaign was clearly gutted at some point. Several characters are missing, the timeline's fucked up, there's that one Egypt mission that is completely unrelated to anything. The Egypt mission he's talking about is this one. It's a tank mission that mostly plays how you'd expect. Another problem throughout the campaign is that there's basically no info about the world, so you have no idea how this war is actually going. One mission, Pax is apparently like able to conquer the entire planet. Next, they control 75% of the globe. Then suddenly they're only holding on to a couple of locations in Tajikistan. We don't really know, as the player, how competent they are. So, the only good thing that this second Egypt campaign does is make the war feel more grand in scale, which is significantly lacking in this game. We're told, mostly indirectly, that this is a global war on the scale of World War I or II, where millions of people died and changed the entire geopolitical landscape of the next few decades. The war between Pax and NATO feels incredibly small on the other hand. When you're playing a campaign, especially a military one, you want to feel like you're part of the world and not the world itself. Every mission has the exact same style of Pax soldier, with the same weapons and voice lines. There's very little variety in enemy soldiers, both from a gameplay sense and a cosmetic sense, and they all feel like retarded grunts that you're supposed to mow down before moving on to the same meaningless objective. Which is why I can appreciate the constant talk from Ibrahim al-Khatib about liberating Egypt from the Pax menace. It's a nice touch in adding this sense of nationalism to the conflict, which would be present in all countries during a time of war, especially one of a civil kind, which Egypt is going through in this universe. Anyway, back to the mission. This one is actually fun gameplay wise. I like shooting tanks. There's some more bugs with moving the tank. What is going on here, man? Like, seriously?
What the hell?
And there's quite a funny prediction moment.
Maybe the bridge dies. Yep. Oh my god, man. How is it so predictable, man? Fucking hell. It feels like I've played this before and I really haven't. Hold on. No, let me show you. Like, let me prove to you that I have not played this before. See, 19 achievements, hidden achievements remaining. These are the ones from the campaign. I feel like fucking Nostradamus.
Anyway, moving on to the Commonwealth of Virginia. The Pax people that were mentioned last time trying to infiltrate Mills's home are very clearly trying to get her out of the house to safety instead of taking her as a hostage for some reason. It should be bleeding obvious to most by now if you're actually listening to the story. Despite this campaign only being 5 hours long, I was already exhausted by this point. I simply just didn't really care. Anyway, back to the infiltration. They all get killed by our heroes, but during that entire ordeal, Mills attempts to try and escape.
We are women and we are free. We're bringing an end to the patriarchy. We are women. Here are free.
I wonder why she'd be doing that. Tajikistan won. Anyway, this mission is pretty boring story-wise. The one legitimately cool thing is the drone. They really nailed on making you feel like a drone. In all seriousness though, it's nice to handle and works well in the mission. The mission itself is taking out some SAM sites in a valley that has the worst respawn system ever, by the way. Seriously, I took out an entire village of enemies before dying in 2 shots to machine gun fire, and suddenly the entire Tajik army— wait, now that doesn't sound threatening at all. What is the Tajik army, like 3 guys and 2 goats? Anyway, before moving on, we take out another SAM site on the top of a dam. We're told that this is all in preparation for a final battle with Pax, and it will make it easier to assault the base when the time comes, you know, because SAM sites take down aircraft. We're also told that this base has been found with loads of missiles in it, specifically using an incredibly dangerous compound called NXC. Oh my god, man, it's literally the Modern Warfare 2 plot.
The missiles. Tony's got their own missiles. No missiles inside. Those missiles. 2 missiles. 1 missile gun.
When our trustworthy and dependable heroes get to the dam, they blow it up and then extract via a car. Virginia 6. There's some talk about the Great Wall of China, that it didn't stop the Mongols or whatever, and it's supposed to be an allegory for NATO blowing up the dam. Farah clone then punches Mills, and then Murphy takes some documents off of her relating to the various CIA chicanery that's going on that she's involved in. She then says,
Don't look at it.
in a very convincing way, I'm sure he'll listen to you and your orders. Then he immediately starts looking at it. She reveals that she has spies within Pax and that they're destroying them from within. However, it's looking increasingly more likely that she's the actual spy. Murphy snaps back saying,
People like Kincaid!
You are the enemy from within. Because of people like you, Pax got their hands on an XC. Because of you, there's a crater in Tajikistan that used to be a mountain!
Wow, very deep. You can tell by the ear-killing screech at the end of his speech. Tajikistan 2. Finally, dude. That's it. It's over. The final mission. We're taking out the Führer bunker of Kincaid. There's a massive assault on the base before getting to the missiles that are intended to be used all across Europe. Our squad successfully disarms the missiles, whilst the other squad, tasked with disarming the missiles, gets blown up. It creates a huge explosion and a massive shockwave, but after regaining composure and giving a cringe premature victory speech, we finally get to take out Scottish bin Laden.
Can I skip? I don't care.
Our reliable heroes assault the place before finally getting to him. He gets injured, says their evil crazy stuff. We talk to Mills over the phone, and she seems very concerned about having him dead. Like, you know, in a suspicious way.
Shut this down, Murphy. She can't leave this facility.
Ask her why she wants me dead so bad. You're here to clean up the loose ends.
Bear in mind that all the Virginia scenes hadn't happened before this, by the way. If you'd paid attention to the cutscenes, it's super obvious what the campaign was tending towards, but man, does this epic twist seem so cliche. The game never really digs into how insane this concept is. Damn, the CIA manufactured a global terrorist army and started a fake world war to prop up the current political system. If they'd expanded on this concept, it could have turned out okay. Commentary on power and how certain institutions, both governmental and non-governmental, use that power to change the world for their exclusive benefit. Instead, it has the twist that has the intellectual depth of the Just Cause 3 cow mission. Anyway, Scottish bin Laden then calls himself her recruit, and that this entire time, Pax had the backing of the CIA. She pleads about patriotism or something, before telling Murphy to kill him again.
Our job is
to follow orders. I'm ordering you, Marie, to finish the mission.
She'll bin you, just like me. You signed up to be a soldier. Oh, CIA hatchet man. Don't let patriotism get in the way of logic. Do it.
Secure him.
Murphy decides against it and decides to arrest him. What he's saying could reveal that Pax had the backing of the CIA with proof. Again, this really annoys me. They could have had part of the squad backing Miller's decision and that being hinted throughout the entire campaign. Maybe you could see a fracturing of the squad along these lines at the scene, giving time for Kincaid to escape and leave the mission on a cliffhanger. Instead, he then just gets fucking shot.
You're all too smart to be dancing your heart shit. What's wrong with you? Mills. Mills, do you copy?
Oh, are we gonna get airstrikes? Dude, she's literally Peter Thiel, but a black woman.
By Hemlock? What? Probably the worst thing they could have done with this story. Whatever, I don't care anyway. The NATO bombers then come in to airstrike the facility. Presumably Mills trying to get the squad killed to make sure that this info that the Scottish evil man gave them doesn't breach containment. But that fails, and we escape anyway onto a helicopter. Mills gets arrested, well, temporarily, and admits to basically building Pax Armata with the help of the CIA and the blah 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 evil bad guys. The justification from her is that the US thrives on having a common enemy.
Bang.
That's the campaign. I'm not joking. So, yeah, that's the Battlefield 6 campaign. 5 hours of wasted potential, broken mechanics, predictable writing, boring storytelling. It feels less like a war story and more like an AI-generated parody of every bad military shooter ever made. Except, it's real, and you paid money for it. Let's be real though, everyone paid for the multiplayer of Battlefield 6. Every single mission is either a glorified multiplayer tutorial, a painfully obvious setup for a twist that you predicted, an hour ago, or just a cinematic of people you don't care about arguing in rooms that you can't explore. The characters are all made of cardboard, the pacing is all over the place, and the big reveal that the CIA made a big, fake, global terrorist organization is just boring. What annoys me the most is that there's actually a decent concept buried under all this sludge. Pax Armata, global instability, political commentary, but instead of using those concepts, they made it have the emotional weight of a Fortnite event. Anyway, I'm done. Make sure to drop a subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.